everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad. And today I wanted to kind of start off the video on a more serious note. So we've been doing a lot of F tier fries recently, and I think there's been some, good feedback on them about like, loving my jank builds. And there's also been some feedback of like I should probably be playing like the most optimal version of deck. You're not like really playing the deck. You're playing like a straw man version of the deck. And I wanted to kind of take a moment to, I guess, address some of the comments from one of the more recent F tier fries, which was the Max deck, which I think a lot of people had like construction criticisms on, like, including hyperdrivers, like the actual non-token card in the deck. And I wanted to kind of quickly kind of address that. So yeah, to the people who told me not to put real hyperdrivers in Max, what now? Because we just got a whole bunch of new spoiler cards that all care about having hyperdrivers in your deck, which is really, really cool. And totally how, a normal optimal max build up until this point should have been built. So they're currently printing it in a way that reinforces the current max build, which is really awesome. So all these cards basically synergize with, or at least 5 of these new cards, all the equipment basically synergize with having hyperdrivers in the deck, which is really, really awesome. And kind of almost turns the deck into, I don't want to say it's like Zen tier, because like you kind of have to finagle it a little bit more, but like you basically, if you do manage to banish a hyperdriver from boosting, which may be easy, maybe not easy. When we were doing it on our video, it was actually like pretty hard to realistically banish one. But if you do manage to banish one, you get like some pretty awesome effects. So you get +1 on your wrench, you get +1 on, or +1 armor on this, and then you also potentially you can use it for what else? You basically get additional steam counters on non-token hyperdrivers, and you can like discard them, put them into your graveyard, and then draw additional cards, which is really, really cool. So I'm a big fan of this design. Definitely kind of incentivized me to play Max a little bit more. And we also have like some main deck cards that also synergize with hyperdrivers. So like +3 go again, also gain a resource if you put a shuffle hyperdriver back, which is really, really cool. So I just wanted to take some time here to gloat that I was seeing the future here with how Max should be built and not how it's currently built, because I think that was the mistake that people were making when they were initially designing Max. So glad to see that I'm vindicated for my jank builds, and that Moonshot, of course, is also going to be playable after this point. Yeah, but with that gloating out of the way, let's go on to the deck for today. So we're going to be playing some more Zen. I've been tweaking the build around a lot, and today what I want to be testing is the Quickdodge Flexors. So this has actually been coming up in, I think, a couple different lists from the Calling Kobe and maybe also the Battlehardened Kobe. I've seen a couple Zen lists that are basically bringing in Quickdodge Flexors. I don't know. I don't remember if there are any lists from Brazil, at least not that I saw. But maybe they're also running Quickdodge Flexors. I kind of just didn't really look before this video, but maybe we'll add a little bit of note here about which decks were, which decks were. But yeah, anyways, I wanted to try Quickdodge Flexors as maybe tech into Aurora. The big cost of running Quickdodge Flexors is that you're not running AB. So that's going to be definitely a little bit of a shift in kind of gameplay strategy. It makes it a lot harder to basically attack into them if we know that they have a CLV out, which maybe also means that we're like leaving CNC in and stuff like that. So definitely a little bit of a change in strategy from just like holding a resource open to pay into Tide Flippers. And from the list that I've been seeing, so one question I initially asked was like, are they running Quickdodge Flexors and AB in like a different slot? And apparently the answer to that is no. They're just running Quickdodge Flexors by themselves in place of the Tide Flippers. So we're going to try that strategy of putting Quickdodge Flexors in place of Tide Flippers. If we want to get a little bit cheeky with it, we can maybe try to run like a Null Rune Glove or something, but I don't think that's super necessary. And the goal here is basically, so my thought is this, right? It's inefficient to pay for AB anyways, unless it's specifically Sigil of Suffering. Like I pretty much almost never pay into AB unless my hand is like absolute garbage. And then like they have like Arc Lightning or something. But generally, it's like incredibly inefficient to pay into any AB against Aurora except Sigil of Suffering. So the idea here is basically if they have a CLV out, we cannot do anything unless we have like a CNC or something, because like the risk of Sigil of Suffering is very, very high. And then also Quickdodge basically lets us kind of like block out like very wide turns. So that's basically, I think, the kind of idea with this kind of package here. And yeah, we're running, I think, 9 reacts. I've actually kind of switched back to maybe the Flick Flack package for this video, but I've been back and forth between the Wax On and the Flick Flacks. I think they're pretty close into Aurora. I'm not sold on which one's better yet. Like Wax On, Wax Off obviously has high roll potential, but there's also the potential that you don't combo it. I think it's definitely still good into Aurora because setting up a Zen state is just like so broken. it's kind of just like a matter of like what reacts do I want to cut. I actually might honestly just switch these over right now and just maybe play with the wax ons today. I'm kind of more in a wax on mood than a flick flack mood, I guess. All right, so I've actually made that swap here. I've actually opted to kind of swap to the wax offs for this video because I do think they're better into Aurora, and I should probably at least get some more practice with it. I think that there is honestly maybe some consideration to running the blue and red flick flacks, but I do like the wax on stuff just for the high roll potential, which is always quite nice. And then it being like a blue D-React is like also pretty good into some matchups, especially if you're running 3 of it. Like it's pretty good into new and other stuff. So we'll give it a try today. I definitely kind of waffle back and forth between the two. I'm definitely a big flick flack enjoyer, but I do think that the wax on, wax off stuff does have its place as well. So let's go ahead and try a deck list like this. Pretty stock standard from kind of like the normal package. We're also running 1 Gustaway the Second Wind, which is, I think, a card that I maybe like having this one of effect of just having like a 0 for 4 that we can tutor for. I kind of like it more than Key Unleash just because it's like a lot more efficient numbers wise if you're trying to play it. It doesn't like brick as bad as like Key Unleash, for instance. Which is like this card's floor is like a two card 6 kind of, whereas like Key Unleash is like a 2 card 5, which is like, or like a 3 card 5 actually, which is like pretty bad. But yeah, we're gonna try the deck configuration like this today. Let's see if we can get some Aurora games and maybe test out the Quickdodge and see how that performs for us today. All right, got an Enigma. I will choose to go second into Enigma. Let's see what we want here. I normally board kind of like this, where I just board out one blue, board in one Breed Anger, and then Cosmics as a backup. Let's see how it goes here. Normally, I basically just cut all my defensive cards to Enigma because I value being kind of as proactive as possible. But also just having a ton of $3 is really good. And this is an excellent hand to start us off with. Just having a Transcend card in hand and also a starter is really, really good if they send like 6 at us. Fortunately, it does get a little bit hurt by like Phantasmaclasm, but not even that bad, I think. All right, seems like their turn is going to be Rage Spectre. Maybe not. All right, seems like they're going to get some filtering here and overpitch to Rage Spectre. And they will give us the option to filter here, which I think we'll gladly take because I'm not super sold on like E-Strike and Cosmic being that important here. I think getting deeper in the deck is way more important than preserving Cosmic for a Fatigue win con, which is normally not super likely against Enigma. It's mostly in here just as like a blue 3 block. All right, so I think this makes sense to start with kind of the 100 Winds here. 100 Winds drop. Could have also opted to play out Ancestral Harmony, but I was thinking about like arsenaling that instead. Could definitely be correct. Nah, I think it's probably not right to play it out. I think I'd rather have it as like a starter for the future. But yeah, this should be a pretty decent turn for us. So let's see if we eat the Rage Spectre here. We do, and then we'll go ahead and drop in the ocean. I love the new UI they added for these targeted Transcend cards, by the way. Little late for Zen, obviously, but still very, very awesome. So we get to do 2, 2, 5 off Mauling Key, Arsenal Harmony pass. Pretty decent. Good way to start off the game is just having access to chi at any point that you want. Definitely one of the ways you can lose against Enigma is if they just like Phantasmaclasm away all your Transcend cards and then you're left kind of stuck with nothing. Right. Unfortunately, we don't have Key Unleashed here, which I've been like toying with, but like the floor of that card is just like so bad that I kind of value maybe just the 0 for 4 for extra consistency. Speaking of 0 for 4, let's go ahead and just get the monkey here like we discussed, and then send in the tiger. Oh yeah. But yeah, this matchup always does feel like a very close matchup. Like you can absolutely just lose this matchup by not seeing chi or getting Phantasmaclasm at the wrong time or like getting disrupted at the wrong time. Like it's definitely not as free as it once was. Like I think it's very I think it's still definitely us favored, but not by a whole lot. Like the margins here are very slim. All right, and then we'll go ahead and arsenal that, pass back, see what they got. All right, Phantasmaclasm is like kind of fine here because we just have double levels. They probably just end up taking one anyways. We'll see what we draw before we kind of make any decisions on block here. I'm assuming they're taking levels. Oh, they're taking the 100 ones instead. Interesting. I don't know if that's what I would have done. So now we have the option to fetch chi and just kind of pop off here. Well, I think we'll leave back our pouncing paws just as a safety mechanism, and also lets us like block through with armor if we need to. But I think developing or getting the traverse online and then just sending like a huge levels turn at them is like a good way to probably start out this game. So I think I'm kind of okay with this. I think there's another option here where we can like maybe use pouncing paws and pitch levels, do something else, but the resources I think are a little bit more awkward. I think the turn is going to start off by us YOLOing Harmony and see what we hit though. Just because like we're at minimum getting 3, so that's kind of like the floor of Ancestral Harmony. And the ceiling obviously gets a lot higher, but unfortunately not in this case. Let's go ahead and just start off on the levels. What are we tutoring for? It's a good question. We can get Aspect if we want to guarantee the Tiger for mauling. It's maybe not bad. Other options here are like Breed Anger. Breed Anger is also not bad. Yeah, Breed Anger is like fine. We'll just do Drago here. Drago or probably Arsenal, whatever we draw into, unless it's better to play it. Definitely feels like a little bit of a weak tourist turn to not use like with a chase the tail necessarily. I don't think we want to get greedy here. I think we just want to like pressure the hand while the hand is good. I think levels is also like a decent enough excuse to just throw a traverse in front of something. All right, now the question is, do we want to play out this other Ancestral Harmony or pitch it, or do we want to Arsenal it? So we're at minimum getting an extra 3 damage if we play it, but if we hit something off the top, it's obviously amazing. We also get 1 card thinner in deck, versus 3 damage if we do this, but we preserve this in deck, versus Arsenal, which is like kind of whatever. I think now is the time to YOLO. Sure, why not? All right, hit an E-Strike, which is like not even that bad of a fail state. So we'll go ahead and just Tiger, Breed, Tiger, Swipe, Mauling. Seems good enough. Unfortunately, not hitting off either Ancestral Army is like, that might honestly be a little bit unlucky. Maybe not. Like we've got 2 combo cards. I think that's a little bit unlucky. We have like a pretty decent chance of hitting there off at least one of them. But also like just thinning out the deck is kind of fine into Enigma. All right, this Quickdodge Flexors is not going to be incredibly strong here, I feel like. But they're probably going to still at least get the minimum 6 value out of it, which is fine. Curious to see if they're going to use it here. So if they use it here, they're actually losing out on 1 damage, which is, I think, pretty nice for us. Then we'll send in the Swipe for nice fair 6. We're not even pushing that much here, but we are kind of putting them off tempo, which is also fine. And we're pushing like a decent amount here, I think. All right, so we will get that Tiger, which will turn on our Mauling Key, which is basically guaranteed to hit at this point. But basically, our goal from this point on is to try to not brick super bad, because I think if we hit a brick, we're probably in pretty bad shape. Just with how much resources we've kind of invested this early on. But hitting it for 8 is like nothing to kind of scoff at here. I think it's quite nice. So get him down to 26, no cards in hand, to R33 with a full grip. I mean, not a full grip, no arsenal, but like 4 card hand, still pretty good. Basically like 4 cards ahead of them if you kind of think about it that way. And also some armor out of them, although we've lost some armor ourselves. All right, we find our Sacred Art here, which is quite nice. Which I think we're just going to take the time here to use up. Get the Chi flowing in the deck. Always good. And I think we're probably just tutoring for... Oh, we're out of Mauling Keys, I guess. So maybe we're tutoring for something else. Let's see what we got left. So our 1 cost that we have are Chase the Tail, so we probably can't get a 1 cost here. But we could also just get like Gust Wave of Second Wind. Ain't not terrible. Alternative was we get Swipe and then Arsenal Swipe. I hate Arsenaling Swipe, but we do have a Pouncing Paw, so maybe it's not that bad. I guess we'll go ahead and just go for the Swipe here. Go 1/5/5, and then if they don't block the second Tiger, or if they don't block the Swipe, then we just get an extra damage here. Which is pretty good. Definitely at a pretty good life lead here, and they have not transcended to my knowledge, at least not that I recall. I don't think, yeah, I don't think they've done it. I don't think they've played a blue card other than like Rage Spectre, which I think we would have noticed if they had transcended because they would have had a Spectral Shield out. All right, gonna opt for Sink Below, which will not fully cover it, so we will get that additional value from the on-hit of Mauling here, which is quite nice. Could also see an argument for playing out the Swipe here as well, because Swipe and Arsenal is like pretty bad. We haven't seen a CNC yet. I think it's fine to play it out, honestly. Like, I feel like playing out a Swipe is so much better than Arsenaling a Swipe, just because like having a Swipe in Arsenal does nothing for us, right? It's not like a setup card or anything. It's basically just a card that is kind of sticking around for like it's more like a payoff than like a starter, as we kind of know. So I'm kind of fine just like going off an Arsenal here and then just playing it, because like we're basically not opening ourselves up to the risk of like CNC here. And it seems like they did have Arsenal Disruption, so I think this was like pretty reasonable to kind of just go off an Arsenal here. And we still have a very, very solid tempo lead, and especially now, holy cow, this hand is, I probably could not make a more perfect hand than this. It's basically just like we've kind of been drawing super hot off the top, but even if we haven't been drawing hot off the top, like we've still been, I still think we have just like the resources we need to stay ahead this game. Like I think that bricking is maybe our lose con here, but like if we're not bricking, then we're just winning, right? All right, so we'll draw buff, draw into an aspect, which is kind of funny. It'd be like that sometimes, I guess. And then we'll go ahead and just do good old chase aspect, which I totally never get tired of resolving ever. I feel like that's the one thing I'm not gonna like miss about this deck, is just like playing out chase aspect over and over again. I feel like it does get boring after a while, even if it is kind of fun watching the number go down. All right, Shelter, pretty good. Seems like they're, yeah, more defensive Enigma list. I think this is like pretty similar to, I saw an Enigma list that was running like Ripple Aways earlier. I don't know if this is like the Battle Hardened list or whatever, but it seems kind of similar, at least. All right, getting a CNC block as well is also quite nice. It seems like our opponent is just really not finding any Transcend cards here, which is definitely unfortunate. All right, go ahead and leak some damage, Arsenal the Aspect, and set up for another hand. This hand definitely plays. So the question is here, do we want to play out like both aspects or just one? What do you think on that? I think it might be correct to just not play out the second one and try to wait for another Transcend card, because we do have like a fair number of Transcend cards, I think, in the deck already. I know we have like one at the bottom, I think, at this point, but we have, I think, two that are like flowing somewhere in the deck. So let's go ahead and just like play out the aspects here. You'll do aspect, Kakara, Pouncing Key. Pretty efficient damage-wise. Just 3/3, 2, 1, 3 or something. Pretty good. Yeah, I feel like one of the ways I feel like this deck is more so a deck of just like managing how you brick. It's kind of how I've come to, I guess, reflect on Zen as I've been writing that documentary script. Is he's just a deck that like encourages you to try to manage your resources well. And if you do end up managing your resources well, or if you just get lucky, like kind of like what I've been doing, then it feels like you just are in pretty good shape. All right, go ahead and get them down to 12. We have a very nice hand here. Oh yeah, this is a hand that absolutely will break through a truce. So I think we'll go ahead and pitch to Kakara here. So they're gonna have their 1 free card. I think that's fine. Again, truce is like a weird card. Like, how do you evaluate truce? And it's like, I feel like the situations in which you want to not break truce are like when you have like a 2-card 6, but if you can set like a chase aspect, like there's absolutely no reason to not break it, right? All right, go ahead and grab the chase and resolve our favorite combo line here. All right, play another aspect. And yeah, the series of draws we've had this game has just felt very, very overwhelming. They're definitely like tanking a lot of it pretty well, but they're just taking a ton of chip damage here and there. So it definitely feels like pretty bad from their side, I think. Just feels like they haven't gotten the real chance to like do anything major. All right, but they are going to keep a 3-card hand here, so let's see what they got here. Hopefully they'll be able to maybe kind of get back a little bit of tempo here. All right, seems like it's just a sad mirror guy. That is unfortunate. But I think it's probably okay here. Let's go ahead and just break our Pouncing Paws, just because it's pretty likely that we're going to be able to use them to some effect this game. All right, let's see what they got. So we'll go ahead and start with the Harmony, I guess. We can get rid of the Wind Chakra. I think it's fine. Leading on the 1 breakpoint is pretty annoying. Gust Wave the second wind, not doing a ton of work here, but we can like E-Strike and then like Arsenal this, I think is also fine. All right, looks like they are going to opt to Restless here, which will help eat some of the damage here, which is good. So at least a 3 block. All right, coming with Kakara. So Kakara, E-Strike, Arsenal Gust Wave. Don't really have to worry about a Mirror Guy for 1. Unless they like randomly Astral Etchings, which is kind of... I mean, they do have the Astral Etchings, but like, is that even good? It's like kind of okay, I guess. They can like make Spectral do it instant speed or whatever. Yeah. Right, it seems like they're maybe trying to like double transcend here. Stir plus Passover, pretty good. Right, looks like they're also going to just throw a Traverse in front of it just as a breakpoint. So kind of makes sense. Then we'll finish on the E-Strike here. We could have also like gone for E-Strike plus second Gust Wave, or Gust Wave the second wind, which sends 9 damage at 2 breakpoints, which is interesting. But like Arsenaling's also fine. I don't know. If this mirror guy was bigger, I definitely probably would go for the 5 into 4. But since it's kind of just a 2 health mirror guy, I'm not really that concerned. But them defending it is like a little bit suspect. All right. So they have Chi in hand. Wait, did they sink below into another react? That's kind of funny. Because I think they had 2 Chi at some point. All right, so sitting in the mirror guy for 2, do we really care? Probably not. I think we probably care about the most here is like CNC. It looks like they might have the Astral Chinks though, which is kind of cool. So definitely like pretty play that I think we talked about briefly, but like it's like okay. Just feels like too little too late maybe. But definitely like Astral Chinks is a very scary card if you are able to get it off, and they basically have the full power mirror guy now, which is pretty sick. All right, so let's go ahead and try to finish him off here. Probably just using this 100 wins for pitch. Do 2 base and then end on the Gust Wave here, which is really efficient breakpoint. Like sometimes a 0 for 4 Chain Ender is like actually just what you need on some turns. All right, blocking with more Rippleaways seems pretty good. And then the Tiger, which they also kind of need to block. 'All right, It seems like they're going to attempt to keep their mirror guy around, but even if they are able to like keep cards here, it seems like it's a little bit of a lost cause. All right, so this should eat the ward unless they got react, which they do. But the next tiger will also probably threaten ward as well. We block 3 here, and then we finish it. So definitely pretty good for us to clear off the mirror guy, get them out of cards, and it seems like they kind of see the writing on the wall there. So what were we drawing into? We're drawing into like chi. Yeah, seems pretty rough from that angle. Even though we kind of, what combo cards do we even have left? I guess we had like 100 wins and stuff, so probably not even that terrible of a spot to be in. All right, that was a pretty good game. Let's see if we can get one more. We got an Aurora, so let's go second, and we're gonna try out our Quickdodge tech. So we'll see how it goes here. Let's pull up our Aurora board, give them a good look, have fun, and then let's bring in our Wax-Ons and our Sync Blows as well. I'm kind of tempted to run the CNCs, honestly, if we're changing to the Quickdodge strategy, and maybe even cutting on like the E-Strikes instead. Because like, it feels so bad like attacking into Aurora without, we also want to make sure we have our Quickdodge, but it feels so bad like attacking Aurora with any cards if you're not on AB. So we're going to try it here. So no AB, Quickdodge, see how it goes. So I'm very curious because this is not a strategy that I necessarily thought would work, but I'm definitely kind of interested to be convinced here. So how do we want to filter here? Obviously keeping levels is very strong, so I feel like maybe just like planning around a lightning press here kind of makes sense, especially with kind of like what's in their hand. They could also be setting up for like embodiment though. But I think just going for max filtering here does make sense. And then the question is levels worth holding on to? Like, levels in itself is kind of mid if we don't have, like, the Transcend to support it. It might be crazy, but I'm kind of thinking about filtering this. I feel like if this digs us 1 card deeper, Transcend is probably worth it. And that's even, like, a fine result, I think. If they Snapdragon this early, like, I also don't care. So, like, I think this plays fine. Just get max filtering here. They're probably setting up embodiment, and then we just get to have some tempo here, which should be good. But if you get the opportunity to 4-card filter a Zen, it's generally very, very strong. Just means you're super likely to draw into Transcend because you're basically getting a full turn of filtering, which is very, very nice. All right, let's see what we get here. All right, do find Transcend. It's a little bit awkward, but like we just have Chase Aspect, so might as well do it. And then we're gonna hit off the top with Ancestral Harmony, hitting a Wax Off, which is one of our key cards, but that's fine. So with this configuration, we basically cannot play around Sigil of Suffering plus CLV if they have them both in hand, which is definitely oh whoops, sorry. Overtime. Let's go like this. All right, then we'll go ahead and grain. Get a resource. Grab Chase. But yeah, as I was saying, I think that you can play around like not attacking into a CLV, and you can play around like if you have like some knowledge off like Ravenous Rabble, if they have Sigil of Suffering, you can kind of play around it. But other than that, it becomes very, very difficult to basically play around like if they're both hidden, right? That basically becomes kind of impossible to play around. But maybe like the logic here is I think that paying into AB naturally for anything that's not Sigil of Suffering is like incredibly inefficient. All right, so you have the opportunity to make a Zen state here. The question is, do we need to? I don't know if we actually need to. I kind of want to just like Rising Sun Homage. Because we'll gain some resources which we can use to pay into AB anyways. And then I guess we'll just keep the 2 Transcend cards. It doesn't really matter. They're both blues. So we're going to get rid of the extra blue. I think we'll let this resolve because we do have the 1 floating, so we can get a little bit more information about like what their turn is before we decide if we want to Zen state. There's also like maybe some merit here. Oh right, we don't have AB. Right, lol. I'm so used to playing with AB that I thought we have it there. Okay, that makes sense. A little bit embarrassing, but that's fine. So got a flash pretty good. Might be looking to like bounce it here or whatever. But yeah, I guess the two floating here is probably unnecessary. We probably actually should have just saved that for our turn. But it's probably fine. I don't think it really matters all that much. I guess we could potentially even get our 4 value out of Quickdodge here if we really want to. It's an option. Just cashing this in for 4 pseudo free value. That might be better than trying to go like super greedy with a Quickdodge. Maybe just using the resources that we already have. Like it's basically, if you think about it, it's like 0 for 4 on armor. It's pretty good. It's definitely like awkwardly distributed, but kind of fine. So I think we'll go ahead and use it here. If they have Snatch, it's obviously rough, but is what it is. Probably just let them have Snatch. All right, 20 Lightning, not too bad. So take a little bit of damage here, but you get to send a Chase Aspect, and we also just have Traverse up still. So we're definitely in a good spot this game, I think. I think it's mostly off the back of filtering. Like, Quickdodge was good there, I guess, but like, not insanely good or anything. I don't know. Maybe I need a couple more reps of the card, but the card's not been like... It's not been like matchup defining. It's been like fine, I feel like. Like, it was obviously... I don't know if 0 for 4 is like insane there. It's like... I guess it's okay. It's kind of like slightly better than 3 temper. Or like 2 temper, rather. I don't know. Card's like okay. Right, another Arc Lightning turn, which, again, like, paying into Arc Lightning is, like, just inherently inefficient, so not a ton of reason to do that here. Do we want to... So they have an Arc Lightning out, so if they go for, like, Lightning Press, Arsenal Pass, are we happy with that? I think we are. So maybe we just let them see what they do here, because I want to probably just throw Traverse in front of something. And if it's, like, a Snatch or whatever, then I probably want to throw it in front of that. Serenade is also just a very, very solid card here, because it means that they basically get 2 extra Arc Lightning pings. It's pretty good. I will, I think, throw Traverse in front of this. If it's Snatched, then we can also throw Kasaya in front of the next thing, because, like, Kasaya is also, like, Kasaya is obviously good in this matchup, but, like, we probably don't need it to win the game from this point. All right, so it seems like they're going to end on a Stack Shock, so I don't think there's a real reason to do anything here. So what's a turn? We can do just another Chase. So we do Chase Aspect Blue. I think we're still doing another Chase Aspect. It's just going to be like maybe a little bit awkward. Yeah, it should be fine here to just take the 5, I think. No real reason to block. Let's go to 11. They do have like a fair bit of armor left, but we should be able to pressure life total here, which means they're going to probably be forced into inefficient blocks. And I guess maybe the strat for this game is just kill them before they have CLB, because they have not seen it yet, which is a little bit unfortunate. All right, go ahead and play out the Harmony Hunt, pitching Wind Chakra. And then we're probably going to end up pitching the Pouncing Key to Kakara here. Or I guess pitching it later for Chase the Tail, rather. Alright, seems like they're going to crown to maybe fish for something here. Go ahead and grab Chase and then just send it here. If they have Sigil Suffering plus CLV, it's like whatever. You have it, basically. I think it's kind of like the motto here. Alright, Written in the Stars plus Grass makes sense in terms of breakpoints. But we're still threatening lethal even through the Dyadic here, which is quite nice. So it forces at least 1 more card out of hand. Still have 4 armor available to us. They have a 2-card hand, which 2-card Aurora hands are not really anything to write home about, but they're still like decent. Like most of the time, the floor is like 2-card 7 or 2-card 8 or whatever. But we're in pretty good shape this game, I think. Definitely off the back of seeing Transcend that early, I think. And them also not drawing like CLB. And I think I don't like Crown when I'm running AB paradoxically, because it's just kind of like inefficient, whatever. But when you're running like the quick dodge, I think it gets a lot better just so you can have something to attack into like a CLB sigil if you really need it. All right, is there a reason to do anything here? Do 2, 1. No, there's not really a way to make that work. I guess we can do like incant plus CNC or something. It's a little bit inefficient. We can also do 3 into 6. It's also reasonable, but maybe we'll just let this resolve. If they have press or whatever, or they want to give it go again, I think that's also fine. No reason to block while we're ahead. And then I guess we'll start with the incant here. 2, 2, 6. Should be quite nice. And they're probably not super incentivized to like sigil suffering this. Like maybe to try to get something better. Like they might just throw like a 2 block in front of this because they want to like preserve life total or whatever. And then if they do have a sigil suffering here, we get them pretty good. All right, somersault makes sense though. All right, finish on the CNC, which should just eat 2 cards here, and it's also it's more so it's less for the arsenal disruption effect because they're on crown. It's more so that we just have something to do in case they have like a CLV out and we're not like blocking out or whatever, or like they fail to like resolve it fully. Or they fail to like get the value out of it, I guess. But I don't know. I can still see this being wrong. Like maybe you just never attack in CLV, and maybe you're fine with that. Definitely depends. I think it depends on like the Aurora build, and it also depends on like maybe the context of the game or whatever. All right, this sand should get the job done here. So let's go ahead and Para. We'll probably just get aspect here just so we have something easy to fetch. It definitely seems like a little bit of a low roll with no sigil sufferings and no CLVs. Feels pretty bad. I almost am pitting this Aurora, which is not something you often see. I feel like I'm more so on the raging against Aurora kind of front. All right, so yeah, discharge and lightning press. Oh, they did have the lightning press there. That's kind of interesting. And then where were their good cards? So they had 3 channels that are like basically at the bottom, and then were they not on sigil suffering? Interesting. That's I don't know if that's correct. I mean, it's maybe like a meta call if they think we're on AB, which a lot of Zens are on like AB1 to Aurora. But the quick dodge here, like, actually, was it good? I think it was good. Let me think about this some more. So I think it was good as just a 0 for 4 leg piece, which is like, compared to like scab skins, I guess, with like no text, you get +1 value if you double transcend, which is like pretty good. And then obviously additional benefit if you want to pay into it more. I think it's like fine. I don't know. I'm like still not crazy about it, but it was definitely good in that specific situation. And it also kind of did prove our theory that like A-Bing is not efficient, right? Like you don't want to A-B if they're like sending like an arc lightning or whatever. The only thing you really realistically want to A-B into Aurora is just sigil suffering. So I honestly think I'm going to play with this a little bit more and just like report back. But I think that there might be something to just putting this in the sideboard, like maybe even to assassin or whatever. It might be okay. I can definitely kind of see it here. Yeah, so I think that's probably going to wrap it up for today. So we got at least 1 Aurora game. It's definitely a little bit harder to find Auroras some days than other days. Some days they're like everywhere on Talishar, other days they're like nowhere on Talishar. But I think we got some pretty good games. We got Enigma, we got Aurora and stuff. Yeah, so hope you all enjoyed the games for today, and thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. And a special thank you to all the folks who decided it would be a good idea to give us $2 on Patreon. We really appreciate the support, but it's obviously never required.